Okay, hello everyone in the Zoom meeting, and hello everyone in Selasar Sunaryo Art Space in Bandung. We meet again in the second day of Declaring Distance online forum. We are in the third session of the second day. The first session is second day and the third session of the whole online forum. This session called Bandung as We Know It. Okay, this is a bit, I think today it's almost all the session related to Bandung as a city, as a society, as a community, as a collective. So yes, today I'm not alone, of course. I'm here with three speakers and in Selasar Sunaryo and one in Zoom meetings. I will introduce one by one. The first is Aulia Yeru. Aulia Yeru is an artist. Maybe we can change to, yeah. Maybe we can say, yeah, hi. You can say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, this one is Aulia Yeru. He's an artist, a researcher, and lecturer, and now is having his PhD in UNSW Australia. The second one is Trijoko Haryadi.
Hi.
Say hi to the camera.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, and
It's
good
nice
morning in Netherlands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
still
good morning,
in
all of you in Netherlands.
Yeah, Trijoko is also a lecturer, researcher, a journalist, and a founder of independent media in Bandung called Bandung Bergerak. The third one is Atep Kurnia in the Zoom meeting. Maybe we can show Kang Atep Kurnia.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, Atep Kurnia is a researcher, also a writer, write many books about Sundanese culture. And the last one is Ridwan Hutagalung. Maybe we can show. Maybe you can use the mic. Yes.
Ya, selamat sore.
Yeah, Ridwan Hutagalung is also a researcher and the founder of Komunitas Akademik. It's what you call it, Bang? A collective? An activism?
Bisa lah.
Yeah.
Kolektif yang aktif di kesejahteraan Kota Bandung.
Yes, their activities mainly walking around to many sites. Historical tour, yeah. And already like 10 years? 10 years?
Hampir 20.
Yes, almost 20 years, right? Yeah. So today we will have a discussion, we will listen to their presentation, and we will talk about Bandung and its past, right? And its future maybe, right? Maybe. So without further ado, I will hand this first to Aulia Yeru. You can share maybe your practice and your, I don't know, anything about your practice and your findings regarding Bandung. We also, at the background is Aulia Yeru's works that also presented here, exhibited in the Selasar Sunaryo. Maybe you can tell us more about it.
Hi, everyone. Good morning in Netherlands and good afternoon in Indonesia. To start, I think I'm going to start with my works first. Probably the PowerPoint will help for people in Zoom room. So my works is growing from my fascination over the production of space or spatial production, and my artwork is to seek the. I envisage it is as findings or an evidence for what happened in the space. After several times developments and research and explorations as well, I found several medium and several examples to capture the to capture the change in the certain space. One of the main example is the river, because I chose the river because the dynamic characteristic of the river, and the next question is how I can capture the dynamic of the river as a, in artistic term. I think the river has an aspect of the performativity. Sorry for the cough. Yeah. So I found this medium of film, a photograph from the analog film. So there's some technical film soup that I soak the cartridge of the film, and I soak it into the river, and there I can produce those images. So the water is kind of a catalyst, or create some image in the film, because there's an image in the roll, but it is become distorted because of the water, and not colored by water, but it's more reacted. It is reacted by the water, because the chemical compound of the water. Then I make a think about those work. I produce it, and how this works, how this work is going to impact people. And then because my work is already created in image, and there's some part of me that makes me certain part of guilt, because I just like extract it in a very abstract way. But I think about infrastructure of the river, for example, infrastructure of the river, like bridge or something. Can I expand the term of infrastructure into something like image or maps, because they also work as infrastructure at least. So like a painting,
like knowledge
structure, and how this kind of knowledge production sit into those physical infrastructure. Then I also think back into the next slide, perhaps, into the few images from the past. Probably next slide. Like paintings, more in the paintings or photographs that shows the Citarum River. Here's the picture of Curug Dago. It's captured in the colonial era, and I just try to imagine how it is impacted people in Bandung, and also the image of the Bandung itself. That's why I keep thinking that it's make people drawn to Bandung or move to Bandung at those time.
Looks beautiful. Let's go. Come to Bandung.
Come to Bandung is
right. The image so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. The image so beautiful, and Bandung is green, and probably provide clear air probably for the people, and drawn people from other countries to come for Bandung, because at that time Bandung is set up as touristic town, touristic destination, and how it is related to the current situation. I mean, of course, there's some kind of linearity how the image is working, or we're working, but I just sort of imagine that how these images is working for now. I mean, as a Bandung people myself, I have kind of romantic feeling when I saw this picture, because probably the black and white, and probably the beautiful image that captured in these photographs and paintings. And then probably the next. And this probably shows, this picture shows the romantic feeling that's shared by me and probably a lot of people in Bandung that romanticize about our pastime. There's some certain places in Bandung that's so beautiful, but we don't know about the water quality on the river, perhaps gitu. And about the probably how the people inhabit near the river. We don't know about it, but one thing for sure, the picture, the location that captured by this image is beautiful.
Next slide.
Next. And that's what I call how image is working. We try to like make some rehabilitation for the river, make some aesthetic, try to kind of drawing attention to the draw attention to the river, but also the next question is what at cost of that to produce as aesthetic kind of that buildings or development for the river, but what it costs. It is we want like a beautiful river, good water, but at cost of what for the people. I mean, it's also part of the nature. I mean, I'm trying not separate between nature and culture. But people also live in here. We are as a part of nature as well. Also the lower class people, also the higher class people. I mean, these all kind of complexities, the natural, the aspect, the economical aspect, all seeping into this problem of the river. We want the beautiful spots, good touristic destination, but probably it would cost some less lucky people, I guess. In
the underprivileged,
less fortunate.
Yeah.
And that's bring this presentation to next presentation.
Yeah. But I think before we move to Trijoko, maybe we can give a bit explanation, context. You're talking about the river Citarum.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Citarum is like a long river. Like even from the, I think, even it's already important.
Yeah,
in
Citarum
the West Java, right?
it's already important because it's current. It's used for electricity. Probably we are currently using its current for our shows, right?
Yeah.
And also it's probably it's used for sewage or something. So it's really important for people in West Java, especially.
Yeah, and please go back to the last picture. That one is Cikapundung, I think.
Cikapundung, yeah. Cikapundung is one of tributaries of Citarum.
Please share the last slide one more time. Yeah, maybe we can start from there also, Mas Trijoko, yeah. Yeah, the left. The image at the left one is
the image of the left
like
is
recent touristic spots, for everyone to maybe take pictures and everything. Like now, like a park, park, and at the right image is people that used to live there and then get relocated for the park, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we have this beautiful touristic spot for families and kids to play around, but there are, I think, like not that small community, right? Get relocated to. Maybe you can tell us about that. This is related to the, of course, the what is Pemkot, local government?
Yes, city government.
City government policy, right?
Yeah, it's a government project. They call it now Teras Cikapundung, kind
Yes.
of that, but there were hundreds of people now. They have to be in government term. They have to be relocated, but in reality, they lost their houses. They lost their culture, maybe. Memories, and children lost their playgrounds, and that's what happened. And now they are moved to what is called Rusunawa. What is called? Is this Rusun? Is what is
Like
called?
a small public apartment.
Yes, housing.
Housing.
Yes, government housing, and they have to adapt in the new culture in there.
Yeah, maybe you can also talk about it for the next presentation, like your activity as a journalist in your media Bandung Bergerak also reach out to this kind of issues regarding Bandung government
Of course.
policy, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
of
maybe you
course,
can-
it's our main issues because we
Yeah.
established in Bandung, and we are meant to serve the Bandung city's people. So this kind of issue will surely be our priority. So
Yeah, so maybe you can show the slides also.
okay,
Yeah,
please.
we can show.
And just please move it quicker, a little bit quicker, so we can discuss.
Yeah, let's
later.
see.
Okay, just reporting Bandung, reporting the truth, because journalism, it's all about truth, it's all about facts. So, and please, this is Bandung Bergerak. We started it just last year, and we have three axes we call. We have belief in locality, and it's Bandung. We believe in in-depth, something that is quite deeper report. And also we believe in database, maybe archive, and also all images, image collection will be so much related with the third database. And the next slide. So we are identifying Bandung strengths as a city. At least we have three. It's intellectuality, Bang Theo, also history, and also leisure. Intellectuality, Bandung has a very long history about that. We have a very yes, we have a lot of university, but also we have a lot of youth movement here from years to years, and also history. Every Bandung people, every Bandung citizen, if you ask, they will say that they really in love with their history. Please. And this is why Bandung is so unique, and why Bandung Bergerak, our independent media, focusing on its as our main priority, Bandung, because Bandung was actually kind of built almost from zero by colonial government. So it's unique, and also it's from the start it's a melting pot for any races, any religion, anything you can find it in Bandung from the beginning. And also Bandung blessed, in quote, of course, with enough archives, writing, and also images, that a topic that we are now discussing now. So actually to know Bandung today means to know its whole history, and also from our point of view, to tell it means to tell it whole history. Okay. And how journalism matters. These are some our recent problems. We have flood. We have clean water crisis. We also have big problem. Bandung also has big problem with waste. We have 2,050 tons waste per day, and just 1,200 of them was sent to other region. And also we have problems with so many things, but people will always say that traffic jam is the main problems now. Please, next. And how we try our best to do it. We believe in good journalism, and journalism itself is storytelling with purpose. So it's all about telling story. Actually, we all have common here. We tell story in our own way. And good journalism is always obligation to the truth, discipline of verification, and keeping the significant, interesting, and relevant. And this is, I will try to relate it to our topic today, images and archive. Next. And how archive and all images and also photographs collection from KITLV probably help. I think I propose at least 4 reasons. First is we have more evidence to reach the nearest truth through, of course, through archive and also images. And the second, we have more information to have a wider perspective for our public. And we have more insight to start new conversation and more ways to be visually interesting and relevant, because making important things relevant and also interesting is one of our jobs as journalists. We can have important things, but if it's not interesting, then people won't read it, people won't watch it. Okay, first, to reach the nearest truth, this is a photo story of a railway station in Kedibage. Today's people know that what they see now, the Kedibage railway station is the first one, is the real one, there is nothing else. But archive and also images shows us that actually in the first and the quote in quote, of course, the real station was not there. So archive and also images will help us to give that truth. Next, please. And also to have a wider perspective. This is our reportage on what is called railway from Rancaikek to Tanjung Sari, actually from Bandung Regency. And wider perspective, what we mean is that now if you go through that road, that railway, you will see thousands of people live there, just exactly on the left and the right of the railway. They have families there, they build economics there, they do a lot of things, their activities. So when the government said that they want to reactivate this railway, it means it's not about reactivate that railway, that road, but it's also means with it has consequences with thousands of people. How you should deal with that, how you should move them, how you should go with their needs. And next one, to start a new conversation. A couple months ago, we celebrate a decade. What is a century? A century of water installation Cibadak. It's in the northern area of Bandung. It's well preserved actually, but from archive and also images we can see that actually there are serious problems there, because just couple meters from there, and I think it's a couple months older, Bang Ridwan, and then the Cibadak, then there were chicken deer, and we can see the real problems there, that Bandung is not really serious in providing clean water to its people. And if we see in the archive, we read the news, the old news, then we can say that it is the same problem that the Dutch colonial government faced. Exactly, that's why they built this two water installment, and it's still a problem now. So this is our job to relate, to make everything relevant to this life, people's lives. So, and the last one is to be visually interesting and relevant. And so this is Kang Hatep probably can tell us more, but this is what Kang Hatep done and what journalists done. We visited the train station one by one, and we take a picture, and then in the article, if you have time, you visit it, and then you will have a comparison between the old station and the new one that they're taken by our photojournalists. So I think this is the last, Bang Theo. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mas Joko. So the archive can do so much in the sense of journalism, right? Even we're talking about today, but when we refer to the maybe like from the early 20th century, and already 100 years, but maybe we can see what can yeah, what already be done and development, what kind of development that happened, yeah, and we can, yeah, like you said, widening the perspective, and yeah, I think everything that we see today, of course, they have passed, but
sure.
but the access to that story, to that
Yep.
information, I think, yeah,
It's limited, and I
Limited.
think this our job to put that in every stories we made, so people will see problem, will see today's problem. I mean, with wider perspective, because they know the history, they know why today's become today's.
yeah, yeah, and many problems, like they don't exist like just yesterday.
Yep.
Maybe they exist like even for 100 years
Yeah.
long, and yeah, still hasn't changed. Yeah, many things that, yeah, happens like that. And maybe you can just continue to Atep Kurnia, because his practice more focus in producing texts, producing books, right? And with the same approach, actually, a similar approach with yours, maybe, like using journalism, like visiting places and searching the archive.
Yeah, but Kang Atep is, I think he will tell us, but I think he's more researcher, so I think he's more behind the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But journalist, as a journalist, you have to visit the place, you have to interview people. Just from the articles I put in the slide, we do it all with interviews. We visit the site, and then that's what journalists do. Kang Atep, I think he's done more behind the table. So
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear from Atep.
And that's-
yeah.
it's the same interesting too.
Same interest, yeah. Kang Atep, can you join us in the discussion? So we can, maybe we can hear more about your practice, your books, and your research, and your project.
Okay. It is heard?
Yes.
It can be heard?
Clear.
Okay. I can share. Maybe. But sorry, would you like to help me?
Okay. Can the team share only one slide, actually?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for hosting this discussion. Hello to all colleagues, and I hope that you are all well.
Yes. This is the slide, right? Okay.
Yeah. This is the only slide I made. On this occasion, I would like to tell you my experiences dealing with archives and archival material as well. Since 2003, I was encouraged by my mentor to write based on printed archives. My mentor is Hawes Tiawan. He is a lecturer and essayist. In the sense of reading books, magazine, newspaper, which during the previous period I used to do. At that time, I was still working as a worker in a textile factory at the east of Bandung-Leiden. Then, since 2006, when I moved to Bandung City, I became closer to the archive sources because I work at a book publisher and stayed at the Pusat Studi Sunda or Sundanese Studies Center as the forerunner of the Ayib Rosidi Library. Because I live in the neighborhood of Sundanese culture and are surrounded by various Sundanese library, the focus of my writing since then has been determined to always to be related to the keywords Sunda, Priangan, West Japa, and Bandung, especially in terms of history, culture, and literacy development. I resigned working as an employee of the publisher in 2008, following my decision to continue my education to university. During my university time, my job was a freelance writer in Bandung and Jakarta, such as Tempo. Most of the sources of my writings at the time relied on printed archives, especially those in the collection of Library of Sundanese Studies Center. In addition, since 2006, I have also started to get acquainted with the internet thanks to my good friend. From that moment, I became acquainted with first digital archive center I ever knew, namely Project Gutenberg, which provides digital books. I also start getting to know archive.org, Google Books, biodiversitylibrary.org, bibliothek.leiden, unif.nl, acehbooks.org, papuaweb.org, neod, delper.nl, digitalcollection.universityleiden.nl, Madrotter, YouTube, and so on. From those digital archive centers, I have had opportunity to collect material in the form of text, photos, audio, and videos related to Sunda, Sundanese, Priangan, West Japa, and Bandung. Although it can be said fully, starting in 2019, I switched my writing to news portals on the internet, following the limited opportunities to write in printed newspapers and magazines. With the transition to the digital world, I thought about making installment of the book in a serialized form on news portals. This effort will be difficult to realize if I continue to do it in the printed word, because we know that the printed word is limited to the period of its publication and its species. Meanwhile, the various digital libraries with its accessible archives makes me easier to search, to extract, and to collect the needed information. With the working method maybe similar to Sherlock Holmes or Inspector Maigret from the 2019 to 2022, I can publish 6 books that are not far from the keyword of Sunda, Sundanese, Priangan, West Japa, and Bandung. Of the 6 books, 4 of them have been published full on news portals, both of ayobandung.com and bandungbergerak.id.
Yeah, so from the books straight to the websites of Bandung Bergerak, yeah, from Mas
Yeah.
Trijoko, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, quite productive writers, right? Like, yeah, I think in short time of use, like many research and many publishing, yeah. So from that we can see, from 3 presenters, yeah, we can see different approach. First from Aul with the image making, and then Trijoko with the journalism, and Atep with research and book publishing. And for the last presenter, Ridwan Utagalung, we can see another different approach regarding the city and its past and history, name with Alet, yeah. Komunitas Alet, yes. Maybe you can share a bit about it.
Ya, terima kasih. Saya akan bicara dalam bahasa Indonesia.
So the translator will translate first, ya. Oke.
Saya perlu gambar pertama saja mungkin dari ada ya di situ.
So we're going to show the first slide.
Ya ini, sebenarnya saya sudah menyiapkan satu tulisan, tapi karena mengikuti rangkaian yang barusan, jadi saya berubah pikiran. Saya coba untuk bercerita spontan saja. Sekitar 20 tahun lalu saya mulai, oh ya kasih tahu ya.
So actually, Bang Ridwan produced a text, but maybe we will publish it later. But for now, so Bang Ridwan will tell more spontaneously, more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oke,
please
jadi
start.
20 tahun lalu saya bikin semacam komunitas yang kegiatannya berjalan-jalan di menyusuri sudut-sudut kota dalam aspek kesejarahannya.
So 20 years ago, Bang Ridwan started a community that actually walks around the city, but to perceive the city through its history by visiting the sites.
Ya betul. Kemudian waktu itu masih menggunakan buku-buku, jadi menggunakan material fisik untuk materi kita berjalan-jalan itu.
So the trips refer to physical publications.
Ya.
Books.
Nah, tadi ada dari Mas Joko ada gambar gedung Cai Cidadap. Sekitar tahun 2003 atau antara 2003 sampai 2006, saya menemukan tanda petik gedung Cai itu masih dikelilingi semacam hutan kecil lah. Menangkap sebisa masih nangkap ya?
In 2003, before Trijoko also showed a site called Cai Cihandap, and a water installation, and before there used to be a small forest just around the water installation.
Yeah. Nah, waktu itu tidak ada informasi apapun tentang gedung Cai ini.
Yeah, there wasn't any information about the building.
Ya, kemudian kami coba cari ke orang-orang tua yang tinggal di sekitar ledeng itu, mencari informasi.
Okay, we tried to gather information from people who live around the site.
Nah, ya,
especially the elderly.
Dalam proses ngobrol atau wawancara itu kita tentu banyak bercerita tentang kegiatan kita keliling kota, menceritakan keindahan kota Bandung di masa lalu, tata kota yang begitu bagus, taman-taman dan lain sebagainya.
Yeah, and also communicate the method that the community uses to tell the story about the city planning of Bandung, how it has its own aesthetics, etc. Yeah.
Nah, ada satu jawaban yang sebetulnya membuat saya berpikir ulang dan ini sampai sekarang masih terus terngiang. Seorang ibu menjawab, "Nak, kenapa ya kok kalian melihat masa lalu itu begitu indah? Padahal buat saya yang mengalami masa lalu itu sangat menyedihkan, sangat menyakitkan."
There's this one answer which resounds maybe quite deeply with Bang Ridwan as maybe a mother or a grandmother says that, like, son, why do you see the past as beautiful, as something romantic? For me, especially for her, it is something sad, not something beautiful.
Ya, kemudian beberapa tahun kemudian saya melihat gambar ini. Pada waktu menemukan gambar ini di Bandung sedang populer kuliner-kuliner Belanda di kafe-kafe, kuliner-kuliner gaya Belanda, gaya tempo dulu.
And then several years later, Bang Ridwan found this image, discovered this image, and also it resonates with the idea that Bandung is famous for its culinary, as a culinary destination, and especially for Dutch cuisine.
Ya, saya sempat, ini namanya kegiatannya rice tafel ya. Seperti prasmanan masa sekarang, tapi makanannya tidak dihidangkan. Ada banyak orang yang bertugas untuk menghidangkan makanan itu ke meja pemesan.
Yeah, so this is a restafel, and this is a banquet, like all you can eat, also. But the people who join the feast does not take their own food or go to the counter, but there are servants who serve the food for them.
Saya lama merhatikan gambar ini, juga sempat ke 1-2 hotel atau kafe yang menyediakan kuliner itu, jenis itu, ya tentunya sudah berbeda dengan harga yang sangat mahal. Kemudian saya lihat lagi di sini, sebetulnya ketika saya belajar sejarah atau membuka-buka arsip sejarah, mana yang saya wakili dari dua kelompok orang yang ada di dalam foto ini?
I examine the photograph carefully, and then Bang Ridwan also tries to go to several restaurants that have the restafel, the menu, and it has gotten expensive and exotic, but also he reflects which side from this photograph, from which people is the narrative that he represents.
Ya, mungkin bisa ke gambar nomor 10.
So we'll switch to another image.
Slide nomor 10, foto. Nah, ini sebetulnya gambar yang juga serupa. Ini keluarganya Yung Hun, itu istrinya. Ini juga membuat saya berpikir, sebetulnya dalam sejarah saya mewakili yang mana, yang duduk di kursi itu atau yang di bawah itu.
Yeah, this is also a similar image. This is the family of Yung Hun, a German botanist who established his research in Bandung and Lembang. And this also resound the same question for Bang Ridwan. Which side does he represent? The one sitting on the floor, or as the ones sitting on the chairs?
Ya, mungkin ada gambar berikutnya setelah ini. Ini juga sama juga, ini di Jalan Merdeka. Di belakang itu adalah lapangan tenis, mungkin sekarang lahannya sudah jadi Unpar atau Santa Angela. Yang main tenis di situ adalah orang-orang Eropa. Ini juga sama sebetulnya. Setiap melihat gambar dari arsip, saya berpikir, yang mana sejarah saya? Apakah para pedagang yang menonton orang-orang Eropa itu, atau orang Eropa yang sedang bermain di dalam lapang tenis itu?
Yeah. This resounds the same feeling too for Bang Ridwan. This is in Jalan Merdeka. So now maybe this is also the part of the university, the Parahyangan University, or maybe another Angela, a Catholic school in Bandung. This is not now gone, the whole area for the tennis court, but it also represent or reflect the same question for Bang Ridwan. Does he represent the ones playing tennis, or does he now represent the hawkers looking upon the tennis players from the street side?
Ya, slide berikutnya. Di sini saya mau menyimpulkan bagaimana arsip yang tadinya saya korek-korek informasinya untuk mendapatkan banyak wawasan mengenai sejarah Kota Bandung, ternyata malah mengubah sikap saya, pandangan saya terhadap sejarah kota ini sendiri. Kira-kira itu.
So between visiting the sites that still exist now and looking at the photographs, which also has its own power relations and its own occupants and its own occupied people, by looking at that and comparing between the history and the past narratives, actually the physical experience and also going back and forth between the image and the site and the surroundings change a lot of things inside the mind of Bang Ridwan, especially when encountering the historical narratives that are there between what is imagined and also what is embodied. And actually also with these images that he present, all of them are from KTLV, and he came to this question at the end of the day, who is he himself and who we are in Indonesian history
Ya, terima kasih.
as local subjects.
Yeah. So the change in attitudes and frame of mind and how we approach even today's buildings and roads and sewage and everything that exists in this city could potentially be changed actually when we see the image, old image, and we can also have a reconsider who are we. Who are we as a collective people in Bandung, even in more broad is like Indonesian.
Merumuskan ulang sejarah kota Bandung.
Yeah, to rewrite the
Kira-kira seperti itu.
our own history, right? Yeah. Okay, so everyone already presenting everything and very different, yet it's, I think, says the same thing about the city, about the sentiment, about the feelings, about what needs to be done in terms of people who live in the same area even for maybe 100 years now. And maybe we have questions from the Zoom participant. You can type the question in the chat room because we still have like 10 minutes. But for our speakers, I want to ask maybe just one particular question. Maybe we can just discuss it. What do you think if this is just if we have all the images, it's not in the KTLV in Leiden, we have all of them here in Bandung, maybe in Jalan Merdeka or in Dago, or maybe we used to have the plan to have the museum, the city museum of Bandung, right? Yeah, maybe on that museum, not like in the European city of Leiden, like so many kilometers. What do you think? What would happen? Yeah, maybe we can start to.
Ya, boleh saya jawab?
Yes.
Ya, saya kira dalam waktu singkat akan musnah. Kita belum punya sikap mental dalam pengelolaan arsip. Perpustakaan ada banyak di Kota Bandung, tapi aksesnya mungkin sulit, panjang sekali. Bahkan yang menjaga perpustakaan nggak akan tahu di mana buku yang dicari. Dan ini terjadi rasanya akan singkat masa hidup arsip itu kalau sekarang ini ada di sini. Bukan karena kita rendah, tapi karena kita belum siap dengan mental pengarsipan.
It will instantly disappear, at least disappear from distribution, because actually Bandung has a lot of libraries, a lot of its own archives, but it's not distributed in a balanced manner, as the people itself does not yet have the adequate attitude to produce, distribute, or even reconsider knowledge. Actually, we have a lot of information, a lot of archive, but also a lot of problem in the more towards the software department regarding the knowledge.
Maybe from you?
Yeah,
Trijoko?
it helps for sure. It makes people have choices, have alternatives to find the sources they need probably to know or probably to make a decision. But of course, then the next question is what for? If we have, let's imagine we have all the images here, then we will use it for what? And I think it's again the question is about how all of the images can be relevant to our today's problems, to our today's challenges. So I think, and probably journalism can do a little bit thing in there to answer that one, but of course it's not. It can be an answer for all the question, yes. But I think it will help for sure. It make us easier to access information, also archive and also images. But then again, that's the question: what for?
I think the most important is the attitude when people perceive such image. It's just a small thing, but in Facebook, probably everyone here also already access it. There's a channel called Facebook Dutch Doku channel that always post the old photos from KTLV archives, and in the chat we can see the debates from people from the Netherlands, from the Indonesia, try to who's the right side on this picture, on this image. Of course, as an Indonesian, we are the oppressed, and you are the colonizer, or something like that. And the Netherlands would say otherwise, something like that. And the debates will stay forever. And there's a thousand comments after that, and it's the standpoint. I think what's important here, the purpose when we create the image, what kind of interpretation we make, which side are you on? Like the old woman that questioned Bang Ridwan practice. For her, the pastime is very painful. It's a painful experience for her. But for us, when we see the picture, oh, this Bandung is more developed at that time. So it's really conflicted. And what's important is really our attitude, and probably we have to reassess our question our attitude.
Yeah, and what do you think, Kang Atep? If we have all those images, maybe you can write so many books, yeah? More books.
Yes. Of course, yeah. In my point of view, if only there are a complete series of Bandung images, we can maybe reconstruct the development of Bandung city itself. Yeah, maybe we can know the city planning itself, maybe as done so far by Ms. Rusmalan, and many things we can be done by the availability of complete photos of Bandung. Maybe it is my opinion of view.
Yeah, and I heard something from Trijago.
I just talk a little bit with Bang Ridwan, but I think the main question is we don't have comparison to. If only we have all the images from KITLV, let's say it happens, then we don't have comparison to that resources. Especially from Indonesian side, if we can say we don't have enough images, we don't have enough probably writings, text came from. Yes, of course, and with Indonesian perspective, especially came from early 20s probably. We really lack of that. So if we want to reconstruct our city, then there will be a huge task because we don't have quite a balance comparison in that resources.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, power imbalance exists
Yeah,
in the colonial era, of course. Yeah, so by that, I think we don't need all the image. Is that true? Yeah, that's a question. That's a question because this discussion started with that how images and archive can, let's say, start a journalism, start an art making practice, start a collective, even start for a book research. But yeah, the idea of having it, the idea of have the capacity to interpret the image, the idea of to, let's say, reinterpret, to rewrite, to, yeah, that kind of idea actually circling around the images. The images is not just like a passive objects and then just wait to be found and everything, but actually it's like have many potentials. But then again, that potentials that not just like easily can be happen also because like I think even the power imbalance still exists until today. Until today, maybe still, yeah, maybe the government still copying the same structure, the same logic, just changing persons from the Dutch to the Indonesians and that kind of policy and that the same attitude to the public,
Ya,
to the society.
sebetulnya contohnya ada dalam keseharian kita. Sejak beberapa wali kota yang lalu yang disebut dengan pembangunan kota Bandung selalu wilayah utara. Wilayah utara itu adalah wilayah hunian orang Eropa. Sejak zaman kolonial. Dari Jalan Asia Afrika ke selatan itu wilayahnya pribumi. Jadi pembangunan taman, bioskop, fasilitas publik selalu di wilayah utara. Bahkan sampai ke ya wali kota yang terkini, yang terakhir, semua yang dipublikasikan adalah pembangunan di wilayah utara. Ini meneruskan perspektif masa kolonial sebetulnya karena tidak punya kesadaran lokal itu.
Yeah, it's still exists this power structure in our everyday. If we see the development that has been done by the past mayors, it's all the development is done in the north area of Bandung. This perpetuates actually the colonial gaze of Bandung because the northern part of Bandung is where the colonialist lives and where the society live their lives. From Asia Africa Street now, that is the demarcation line here, perhaps between where in the north and the south. So all of the things that are promoted, the developments done, everything is always on the northern part of Bandung.
Yeah, so I think if we can make like simple conclusion, like maybe if we took the city images today, and then we can see it like 100 years from now. So our next generation have like 2 layers of photos, right, from the 1900 and then from the 2000s, and maybe they can see like the similar logic, and then they can start maybe their own version, or by copying it or maybe changing it. But yeah, then again, this is like actually a future issues actually, right? What can be happen?
In the past, it was all about colonial interests. Now I think it's all about what Bang Ridwan said. It's all about probably economic interests. So everything that is advantaging the cities is in the northern area. So I think that's the switch, but I think the color is still the same, and the perspective is still the same. It's quite the same.
The color is still the same. Okay, thank you Trijoko, thank you Ridwan, thank you Aul, thank you Atep. I think with that we can have, I have to ending this session. I think this actually just like an opening for further discussion, right? Like, yeah, but thank you, and we will continue to the next session. Actually, our next session also regarding Bandung, and in one particular person, which is Ki Hajar Dewantara, an activist from Syarikat Islam, the leader of Syarikat Islam Bandung branch, which is known for his pamphlet back then. I wish I was a Netherlands, a Dutch. I wish I was a Dutch, and because of that, he got exiled to the Netherlands. And there, in Den Haag, in 1916, he have this musical composition performed, and we will have that performance once again here in Bandung. Now, in front of us, we have the piano, and we will have a singer, and then we can talk about it a bit. What is that? What is what can a musical piece can do? Yeah, because it's made by Ki Hajar Dewantara is not just a musician. Yeah, he's a lot more than that. He's an activist, a journalist, later an education activist, even the Minister of Education in Indonesian era, right? Yeah. So and his project Taman Siswa is very influential, shaping our education post independence. Yeah, so thank you for this discussion, for this session. Now I want to move to other, I can call them a performer, yeah, performers. So yeah, maybe we can change to, yeah. So we will have musical performance here. I can introduce. Maybe we can join me here, please. Yeah, I already joined by Fauzi Wiryadi Sastra and Rita Simanjuntak. Fauzi is a musician, lecturer. He made compositions. You are a composer, right? Yes, and Rita also a singer and a student at our Integrated Arts in Parahyangan University campus. So before we listen to your performance, what is this? Can you tell us a bit about it? Wait a second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Theo. So today we have a very special music that we found. This is written by Ki Hajar Dewantara.
Suwardi Suryaning.
Suwardi
right?
Suryaningrat, his real name. He was a very influential figure in the making of Indonesia, basically. I think one of the Indonesia Party.
Yep.
So they were the first group to announce, basically to publicly declare that we are working for the independence of Indonesia.
Yep. But he also know music, right? From his training, maybe in Keraton.
That's very interesting, because he was an artist, basically.
Yes, he was an artist.
He knew everything. He knew music. He knew poetry. He knew how to dance. So yeah.
But rooted in like old ancient Japanese culture.
Actually, both. Like
Both,
he is trained in the classical Japanese music and art, and also in the Western tradition.
Okay.
So this, I think, the very interesting part of this. This is probably, as far as I know, is probably the first Palok transcription into Western notation.
The first ever Pelok,
Yeah.
Javanese Pelok,
Javanese Palok.
that translate into Western
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, as far as I know, I think this is the oldest one. He started this system basically trying to interpret, because in Japanese system and most of Indonesian system of tuning is a lot different than the Western tuning. So,
And why he did that? For what purpose?
well, I think he tried to basically to show try to make Japanese art accessible to the Western audience.
And maybe to tell like, we're not that,
Yeah, we are
No.
not primitive.
we also have this like civilized progress whatsoever, yeah. And then, yeah, but say it in the Western language for a Western audience.
Yeah, for Western audience, and even also tonight, this afternoon, both Rita and I, we are not Japanese, so culturally speaking, maybe we are the same as the Dutch back then, right? He wrote a very detailed descriptions about how to perform this. It's in Dutch, so yeah, we basically have to learn Dutch first before we can speak Japanese.
Okay. And from the perspective of the singer, because the singing part used to be for sopranos, right?
Maybe you want to say
Yeah.
something as a singer.
Yeah, for a sopran.
Yeah, as far as I know, that this piece is written for soprano singers because the range is quite high. But some problem that people won't be noticed about this piece is the way we sing in Sindan tradition is very different in Western tradition. So to make those E, F, and G, it's not as easy as the Western singing. And because of the lyrics also, I can tell it's too, what will say, boros?
Okay, yeah. So,
Ineffective.
Ineffective.
maybe it's not really ineffective. The way of Japanese pronunciation.
Oh, yeah.
The air goes up from our trachea is too much. Then
Super difficult techniques.
yeah.
Maybe
Even through your lungs to the throat and everything.
Yeah, just for an example, if we sing do in Western, we will sing do. The pitch and intonation, it sounds better, right? The pitch is correct, but the way we sing, the intonation is different. So we need lots of air, breath actually, for singing. And every time t and b and then h, we drop the air very fast. So it's the difficult one. And then also in the accentuation. The accentuation is not common in Western language. It's not on the downbeat, mostly in the half or the next semi-quaver or quaver.
Yeah, so not an easy piece, a complex piece,
Yeah.
you can say.
I think we need to explain a little bit to our non-Indonesian audience, right?
Yep.
That here in Indonesia we have a lot of ethnic groups. We speak different languages that are not intelligible to each other.
Yes.
Different logic
yeah.
expressing arts.
Yeah, and that's one of the main problem, that because like Rita here, the singer, she is not a Japanese, so
I have to be pretend
Yeah.
as a Japanese for at least about 10 days, trying to speak
a lot of the sound that is required to say this properly is not something that we say every day.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of this sound has a lot of the breathing sound
Yeah.
that takes a lot of air.
Yes.
Basically, that's the problem.
Yeah, and yeah, well, very different
But
contexts.
something is
yeah?
very interesting about this part.
Yes.
We are Indonesian. We never learn about Japanese. Oh, the language is not only Japanese, it's a Jawa Kawi.
like the higher,
The
Japanese.
very highest.
The highest
the highest one in the
language in
karaton.
Japanese.
In the karaton.
Even not common Japanese can speak it.
Yeah, we just ordinary people try to sing the highest song. So the information about how to spell all the vowel thing, it refers to Netherlands language in Dutch language. So it's quite difficult. We have to learn Dutch before learn Java and Ngawi. Quite, yeah, questioning.
Yeah. So from this simple piece of paper that we got from our generous friends at Taman Siswa in Yogyakarta, we can access this notation, and we already printed many here in this exhibition space, so everyone can take it and everyone can try to sing it and try to play it here in the exhibition space for the next 2 months. Yeah, I think this is very interesting because from this simple, modest paper, it represents like a whole different structure, a whole different worlds maybe than today, and yet we try to like reconnect. Because the event itself called declaring distance, like this is like not just a paper, this is a distance itself printed in a paper, like you said, Rita. So yeah, with that, all the difficulties and hassle and everything, I know your practice is like not that easy and everything, but yes, everyone here would like to hear the performance, and I hope everyone in the Zoom meeting also can enjoy the performance. This one is called Kinanti Sandung. Kinanti is Javanese terms, amacapat.
Yeah, it is a Javanese poetry.
Yes.
Basically.
And Sandung it means lullaby.
I think so.
Yeah. So.
But it's not in origin lullaby.
Not an original,
Not
because
an
the original is like from maybe some fathers and mothers to their daughters, and then just sing through the singing.
This piece was telling about how Ki Hajar thinking about Indonesia, that he missed
When he
so
was
much.
in
He
Netherlands.
he missed his country very much, and he tried to communicate through his music, but he remembered that we have gamelan.
Yep.
So I'm trying to introduce gamelan for people here in Netherlands in a different way. So need a lot of things to be understood to know this piece.
Yep. So without further ado, please prepare yourself, take your position, and we can wait for the performance. And I can invite everyone in the exhibition space just to come in if you want. Everyone can just relax and find your comfort seat. Thank you so much, Fauzi and Rita. What a moment, yeah. Maybe for closing the session, anything to say?
Yeah, I think this music, it has been waiting for a long time to be heard. So yeah, something special about whenever I play music, it's always this feeling that, you know, this is an art form that just waiting there in a piece of paper, and then at this moment, everyone can hear it. It becomes a real art, and then it just disappears. I think that's the moment here.
It's been an honor for me to be part of this, so I would like to thank you for everyone, for all the artists, because I remember that this year is a remembering of a century of Ki Hajar Dewantara. So I'm so glad that at least once in my life I ever sung his composition, and I'm truly glad. So thank you, and I hope the next generation will love the Indonesian composer works as well as me. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause, Fauzi and Rita. Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, and now we can continue to our next session. There is a slight change. I think now is time for Bambang Sugiarto to give his reflection around archive and past and history. Yeah, so Bambang Sugiarto, Dr. Bambang Sugiarto, Professor of Philosophy. He achieved his doctorate in philosophy from Università San Tommaso, Roma, Italia, author of several books on the problem of postmodernism, arts, religion, humanism, and culture. Among others is Culture and the Condition of Post-Tradition, Canisius Publishing 2019. His articles have been published in national and international journals. He is a research fellow of several institutions of philosophy in Copenhagen, Tokyo, Washington DC, and Hong Kong, and currently teaching at Parahyangan Catholic University, Bandung Institute of University, and Islamic State University, Bandung, Indonesia. So, Pak Bambang, hello. Can I have access to Pak Bambang? Can we hear you? You have an unmute. Not yet, Pak Bambang. Unmute the Zoom first, maybe.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. It should be unmuted by the host, seems.
Yes, now we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Good day, especially those in Holland, Marike, Kathy. Yes, nice to meet you. And good afternoon, those in Bandung. Yeah, it's an honor for me to give a reflection on what has been going on in the past 2 days here in Bandung. It's been very, very exciting because many activities, so diverse, and yet it makes me reflect on the issue of archives, history, and I would like to connect it to identity production, actually. So I would like to connect archives, history, and identity production. Let's say the production in the sense of how we make use of these archives to create new narrative, to construct a new narrative in new constellation, new frame of meaning, according to the situation of today, global situation. Yeah, I will first address the issue of the past. The past the past as events is, I think, broader than archives. Archives is the record of the past. Also that it is, of course, data. Archives are facts, but already formalized in a certain frame of meaning, categorized even. But as events, the past is something much more open. The past is, let's say, a repository of potentials. A repository of potential. In this sense, archives are raw materials. I see archives as raw materials to rearrange into a new sequential constellation. Yeah, that's how I see the past. And then what is history? Yeah, history is an activity to connect disparate events in terms of certain frame of meaning. The frame of meaning can be diverse. Colonization or decolonization are just two of the possible frame of meaning. But as far as concerns the past as events, it is always open. It's always open. So, in this framework, any type of history is never conclusively true or false. It is simply a frame of meaning. It is not a matter of true or false. At most, it is, if validated, they are plausible in the sense of reasonable to accept. Yeah. So we can, in short, we can connect from the past to the present, but also from the present to the past. And I think that's what we've been doing in these past 2 days in the form of filmmaking, performance, installation, journalism, music, just now we have heard, and also culinary. These are activities that is trying to connect both ways, from the past to the present, but also from the present to the past. Yeah, that's how I see history and archives. Now, what is identity production? Identity production, as I mentioned before, is a construction of new narratives based on the available archives, which is so vast. The archives, the available archives are so vast. But then these archives is reinterpreted in terms of a new context. So I wonder if the frame of decolonizing is still relevant in the first place today, especially for the millennial generation. Of course, the past is a part of our memory, of our body even, but we simply don't experience that kind of past. Rationally we know that those archives are a part of our lives, but emotionally, we might not have any connection except some sort of nostalgia, curiosity, and things like that, or even just see the archives as potentials to remake it, to recreate. Yeah. So our concerns, I guess, today is not the past, but the present and the future. The present and the future. I think we are our deepest problem today is the problem of identity. How we should see ourselves in terms of the past and the present and the future. What is our role in the hustle bustle of the global interaction today? Who are we as Indonesian people? What is our contribution to this world affair? So no more nostalgic or even vengeful feeling towards the past. It is our basic attitude toward the past is more rational, I guess, rational or critical. Yeah. In this rearticulation of history, of archives, what is important, I think, is that both identity of the Netherlands as well as Indonesian are rearticulated. So it's not simply about Indonesian identity, but also what the Dutch is today in this frame of meaning. So both are, I guess, rearticulated anew. Now, I guess this program, ITLP program that has been conducted in Selasar, at Selasar Sunaryo in this past 2 days, I see it as how do you say that? As a vehicle by which we can keep the flame of life bright and energizing. Yeah, I guess so, and that was my closing statement. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Shake.
Yeah. What else, Theo?
Yeah, Bambang, thank you. Yeah, so this discussion already, we have this in campus, yeah. So yeah, thank you for your reflection and everything. And yeah, thank you so much. And now, thank you, Pak Bambang. That's the third session for today. Anything else you want to add, Pak Bambang, or already?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And so now we are back to Selasar Sunaryo Art Space here, where something happened yesterday at the, I think at the ending of first day's Zoom. I don't know if maybe some of you like seeing us cooking something and having breakfasting. Now is like a fasting month here in Indonesia, and now today, and the second day, I will have conversation with Fajar Abadi. He's an artist, performer, and he uses many layers of language that related to the culinary and cuisine and foods as like, yeah, I think the taste, when we taste something, I think that's also have many layers of connection and relation and connotations regarding the past. So what we will do today is we will have food, of course. We will have feast here. You can see behind me, we will have this platform, so we can have picnic. We will have picnic here as a breakfasting moment. Like we have this buka bersama, like collective breakfasting. Before that, we will ask him what kind of food that he's serving to us. If I'm not mistaken, I will ask him one more time. All the food that he served to us in the space here come from an old cookbook that published also in Indonesia. Actually, they sold this, I think it's called antique books now, in online shops now. And yeah, we will see the book, we will see the food, we will see Fajar now. So please come with me. Wow, what is this, Fajar? So yeah, everyone, this is Fajar Abadi with his everything that he needs to cook us something to breakfasting, Fajar, right? Yeah. Before that, let me put some clip on speaker to you so everyone can hear you in the Zoom meeting. Is it safe? Yeah, so maybe as you can see, still hot and running. Yeah, now we can change into a cooking program like in the TV, like in our childhood, right? Yeah. Yeah, so Fajar, can you tell us a bit about this? I already mentioned the book actually.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Fajar. For this project, I try to interpret some recipes from this book. Create new folding
in this cookbook.
Most of the, not most, yeah, but many of the recipes are quite unfamiliar for me. It's like the first time I see the recipes, heard the names, even though the spices usually quite familiar. So for this project, I cook from these recipes, and then I put the food inside a tiffin carrier. It will be like 3 parts because it's also Ramadan time. There is like a iftar and tajil. Oh, ini yang paling atas. There's some sweets, usually dried food with sugar, and then this is some call it salad solo, and some call it semur. The sauce, the braise, the method, and then also gehaktballen. Gehaktballen.
Yeah. There is gehaktballen maybe in this cookbook, right?
Yeah. And I also arrange place or space for eating the food.
Yep.
It will be inside.
Yes.
On the floating lesehan.
Floating lesehan.
Yeah. So lesehan is like way of eating, usually without table, on
in the floor.
Yeah, on the floor, on the ground. But
using tikar maybe.
Yeah. For this occasion, because we talk about
The distance.
The distance. So, yeah, like I said before, the book stated that this is
The best, the most complete.
the most complete and recipes from Indonesia, but some unfamiliar for me. So I feel like floating, like
Yeah.
I have distance to the food and the dish. And sometimes history is like too heavy. So what I try is I want to try to translate it into another way, like tasting food, and then
The fun
also
way, yeah?
picnic.
Picnic.
Yeah.
So having picnic as a way to access history of the
Yeah,
past,
because
right?
there is like a popular philosophy in Bandung, kurang picnic, or
In the need of picnic.
picnicless
Picnicless.
usually make you brain fog.
Yes, and everyone I think need picnic now
Yes.
after our breakfast hour, of course. Yeah. So maybe a bit about the ingredients, about the spices and everything.
Yeah.
What do you use?
I use coconut oil
Yes.
because the palm oil expensive
Yes.
nowadays, and then butter, and then the most important
The smell?
what? Yeah,
The aroma?
the aroma
Came
is from nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Yes. Sweet soy,
Very good.
kecap manis also. This is just MSG.
Okay.
Mushroom bouillon,
Yeah.
and then black pepper
Okay.
and onion and garlic. That's all.
Yes, yes. And the main ingredients is meat, yeah?
Meat.
That you mentioned before this?
Yeah.
Like in the morning?
Minced meat
Minced meat?
and panko, breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb, yeah. Yeah.
Mana yang udah ada? Mau ditukar daging nyaris pakai yang ini. Let me finish in a bit.
Yeah, this one will be finished in a second and ready to be served, right? Maybe you can show to us how you do the plating. The sauce.
Okay.
So that's the rantang.
And then there's also. Oh yeah, this is Haris by the way.
Yeah, hi Haris. Have you tried this, Haris?
Already.
Have you tried this before?
I already ate the food and test food.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
Is it good?
It's good.
You like it?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's also this one, the drink, tamarin with apa ya? Spices.
Herb?
Cengkeh.
Herbs?
Clove.
Clove. Okay. So let's try. We can call Kei Mazu from yesterday's presentation. Kei, do you want to join us? And Aren, do you want to join us also? Yeah, we will have picnic now. Yeah. So Fajar already. Yeah. Please, this. Yes, please.
And let's go to the picnic area.
Yes, let's go.
I will bring some tissue.
In Japanese, hamburg.
Ini masalah.
So we're back to this green platform from session 1 today. So now it transforms into this floating lesehan.
Floating lesehan.
Yeah, floating lesehan.
picnic.
So we have, yeah. So the rantang is designed so you can open it like a surprise kind of box.
Oh.
So you haven't seen it,
Several times.
okay? But you haven't seen what's inside.
Yeah, hamburger, only hamburger I saw.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so please open it.
開けますよ。お、いいですか？
So I need this
Oh,
manisan sweets.
wow,
This is
Sweets.
すごい
salad.
beautiful です。
Salad itu snack fruit ya.
Yeah.
Snack
ス
fruit.
ネークフルーツ。And
Cermai.
What is cermai?
I don't know the English.
Like a cherry, not a cherry.
Yeah.
Different. What?
Cherry and tomato.
Yes.
チェリートマト。
And then also the nutmeg fruit.
ナツメグ、this is?
This one.
Oh, this one が
Yeah.
え
And then
ー、I
this
know
is
only
grape.
spice ね。お、これグレープなの。
Yeah.
おー。
So where this come from? These sweets.
Come from Cianjur,
Cianjur.
Cianjur in West Java.
West Java.
Okay.
おー。
You want to taste or we can uncover all first?
You want to
Let's
see?
together.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
What's
see
there is
first,
3
first.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see. This is the
Imasu
first
yo.
level, the manisan.
First level.
Ah.
Oh, this is a hamburger や。
Hamburg.
すごい。
Hamburg.
Hamburger.
Japanese version.
Hamburger.
Some call it
いくよ。
German beef stick.
German beef stick. Yeah. And the last level is
This is just
white
rice.
rice. Yes.
Yeah. And then this is pickles.
ピクルスの。
It calls in the book it calls acar sayur manis.
アチャールサユー
Yeah, sweet vegetable pickles. But actually not that sweet because I use lombok. This book especially mention a lot of lombok for like a special character of Indonesian food, spicy. And this is kind of like Indonesian jalapeno, gendot, and then the long bean. Yeah,
Long bean but short.
long bean but yeah, cut too short. So I need the gesture. I use tiffin carrier because I need the gesture like open one by one, like
open a book
uncover the story
from
one
this
by
book,
one. Yeah.
for example.
So I try to like transfer the whole idea about distance and archiving and history to the food activities,
Yes.
eating activities.
Eating activities.
Those.
Yeah.
Please.
Please try.
いいんですか？
Yes. We can have.
Thank you
we can
so
have
much.
it.
I hope this will turn good. I haven't tasted yet.
Smells good, but smells good.
Looks
Already
amazing.
smells good.
じゃあちょっ
So
と。
maybe I'll try the sweets first.
Sweet
yeah?
first. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's.
you can use your fork. Use.
This is egg salad
okay?
cake, by the way.
So this is the cermai.
Sarme, yeah. Watch out, there is a seed inside.
Mine.
うまい。
It's Japanese for
Not that sweet, yeah. Not that
Or
sweet.
lekker.
lekker.
なんか
Delicious.
梅干しみたいなの。
Oh yeah, like
梅干し？
umeboshi.
そう。
Umeboshi.
Plum.
プラムみたい。ね。もうマネス。
Umeboshi.
Sweet.
Similar.
It's been brine for how long? Like 1 week, 2 weeks?
I think 1 month. Yeah.
For 1
You
month.
could do one month.
Oh, this is
Snake fruit.
Oh,
Snake fruit.
Salad.
Salad.
so small, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Let me also try. with this. Yeah, this one is what's this?
Grape.
あ、美味しい。なんかパイナップルみたい。
Oh yeah, tastes like pineapple. And it still hold the texture. That's the most expensive one. The nutmeg.
Oh, nutmeg.
Fruit.
あ、
Very
ナ
exotic.
ツメグテイストだ。
Yeah.
すごい。Only we normally in Japan we always use Hamburg mix nutmeg.
Oh yeah.
でも I never eat リアル
Oh, the
フ
fruit.
ルーツオブナツメグ。
First time?
ファーストタイム。ナツメグテイストだね。え、なんか。
Enak ya?
うん。
Ah, try the hamburger.
Yeah, now the
Can
main
I?
dish.
あれ。
Yeah.
あ、sorry.
So this is medium, well done, medium rare.
I think medium. A bit.
No, it's medium.
Medium ya.
Oishi.
美味しい？じゃない？おお、すごいよこれ。うまい。うまい。うまいです。うまいです。
本当？
本当にうまい。そうすごい。ジューシーだよ。
Yeah, juicy. What else that you can describe from
Try the
the texture
egg salad,
and
egg salad.
the taste?
ジューシーでマニスで。This is ハンバーグだ。なんか actually in honesty in Indonesia I always disappointed ハンバーグや。
Oh yeah.
そうで in Japan ハンバーグ is more juicy でエナックなんだみたいなさ。
Ah.
This is for me すっごいジャパニーズテイストのエナックです。
Terima kasih, arigato.
You use nutmeg? This for-
Nutmeg.
Yeah, that's why そう。
Yeah.
ナツメグのテイストがすごい。For me, really like my mother の
Oh yeah.
マザーズハンバーグみたいなそう。
Okasan.
Yeah, Arin, you also tried the
Pickle?
jalapeno.
It's really hot,
Really hot.
but I can handle it.
Can you?
Can you?
I'm not
So sure, you're not sure. This is not Japanese, but it's Japanese hamburger.
そうそうジャパニーズ
Japanese hamburger.
Almost the same.
そうだね。Almost the same.
Yeah. So
Eat more, eat more.
yeah, from before we talk about this, like distance and different ways to access.
To approach, yeah.
Yeah, to approach the recipes from the past, but let transfer to your mom, to you, to these books. Yeah, spread anywhere in I don't know in Java. I think in Java.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, recently. So initially, I found smur recipes
Smur.
in this, and then Arin told me how about make it in a way of salad solo like
Salad
this.
solo.
And then I found one video in YouTube, and because I not exactly following the recipes, so I try and then I add another thing like tomato sauce. So when I found
but the
this
tomato
video-
sauce there's no tomato sauce in the recipe book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you just added.
I just added, and then from that video also used same ingredients with use tomato sauce. Actually not tomato sauce, tomato puree. So it's YouTube artist ya, YouTube artist.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
From
Indonesia.
Holland, I
Oh,
think.
from Holland. Okay.
Yeah. And
The Netherlands.
it's quite strange that a way she approached the recipes similar like me, like
You didn't know her.
yeah.
You just saw her video in YouTube.
Yeah.
But the same approach, it should be not tomato sauce or anything, but you add it and she added too.
Yeah. So I usually cook by not really following the recipes. I
Yeah.
try to find like the things that the recipe wants to propose or the maker want to propose. Like, oh, I want to serve the feeling of warm, something like that. So I try to imagine the purpose of the dish, and then I can always change the recipe, the ingredient.
Yeah.
But
So
still following.
yeah, so you see this as a proposal
Yeah,
that everyone can see, and yeah, we propose this, like it's your choice
Yeah.
to take it or not. But it's a proposal for people in Dutch East Indies back then, maybe, not
Yeah.
for us, maybe.
Maybe because this book also the apa ya, the country that involved in this book, not only the Dutch but only I think
There is,
French also, yeah,
you can see the info.
in Paris.
printed. I don't know how to spell it. Laureate Institute International, the alimentation, the hygiene, and the cuisine.
Paris. So it's more like
Already involved many people, and the book state that in the opening, this already the ultimate way.
the ultimate way to cook.
Yeah, to cook all the recipes. You don't have to try another book.
The most complete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the,
Yeah.
the Quran cookbook.
Yeah.
Bible.
Yeah, the Bible of the cookbook. Yeah, and Arin, you found this book. What did you think before when you saw this? You are just interested, or?
Yeah, actually I'm interested with the cover here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Very
show the
interesting,
cover.
illustration. And actually the book is made by a housewife, right?
Yeah, and all the ingredients.
Not by the cook.
Oh, not a professional chef.
No, but
Okay.
housewife, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. And then the shadow here, probably the one who cook it.
Yeah, maybe we can zoom it the image a bit. Yeah, you can see two silhouettes here,
There is
two
the
profile. There is,
Munir
yeah, there is the
and then the assistant.
Munir and assistant. The
Shadow.
at the shadow, yeah, it's different shapes.
The ninja behind.
Yeah, but you can see the smoke is from the one in the shadow part, right? I think it's right. Yeah, it's just the one who cooks.
Cooking with love.
Yes. Yeah, so back again to the food. That before this we heard Ki Hajar Dewantara's composition from I think 100 years ago, and then being sang here in Bandung in 2022. Now, in different approach, we have something that came from around that era also, and we eat it now. What changed? What is the change? And do our palate, our taste buds change, or what is changing?
I think it's still like long journey because there is like words longing and belonging. Like history sometimes tell us the state we were. Like, oh, this is also part of me, but not very familiar. But there is a feeling belonging and another feeling is longing. Strange feeling like ghost, like this one. Yeah. So I think we need to have more picnic, and then more conversation, and then more experiment and tasting.
Yep. And from UK, anything to share? After you come from Japan, and you have tasted things like this in Japan, and then you have new comparison, right? Hamburger. What do you think?
ハンバーグってオリジナルレシピーズ from Holland? So maybe Japan more also before old era, その長崎が
Oh, get
on-
the
on-
recipe.
Dejima is only open.
Mm.
At that time, Edo era is country closed.
Closed.
で出島でそのalways そのホーランドのさ、あとあれだ、なんだっけ、next toスペインのあのカントリー、ポルトギースだ。
Portuguese,
そう、
yeah.
came and we studied そのカステラとかさ、フードとかレシピ、ウエスタンフードのレシピを we studied from そのホーランドとポルトギース。So maybe このそのハンバーグはインドネシアでもそのセームでそうそうジャパニーズも also studied from this recipe maybe
Maybe, yeah.
そうそうそうで
Maybe-
ナツ
Same source, yeah.
うんそうそうそうで at that time ナツメグマスト came from インドネシアだし そう
Maybe similar time.
そうそうそう
when we made these recipes.
そうそのセームそのライカモダニズムっていうか We met Western culture っていうか
Yeah, yeah,
そうそう
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
そうそうそう We are normally ライスでさね
Yeah,
エイジアンだから
rice
さ
also, yeah.
そうそうでハンバーグ with さこのハンバーグ with ライス is
Yeah,
DD さエイジアンだよ
Yeah.
normally さ with ブレッドでしょ
Yeah, yeah.
Not using bread.
Actually, a bit weird, yeah. Hamburg with
Right.
rice.
そう That's why なんかなんていうかセームフィーリングなんていうかなそう
Yeah, yeah.
そう
Same approach.
Taste.
Same taste bud.
Taste buds.
Similar.
Similar.
そうそうそうその how to
The idea of constructing how we enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with rice.
It's in our body
Yeah.
from a long, long way, long
And
time
then
ago.
Maybe more nutmeg and stronger spice.
そのナツメグとさあれだペッパーってさ
Oh, yeah, pepper,
そうそう
Black pepper.
Black pepper.
そのジャパン is ハンバーグ is now さもう本当にナショナルフードっていうかさ but between さそのマストポーランドでインドネシアでアライブジャパンなんだ because ナツメグとさペッパーがある
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
そうそう
Maybe
そのこうね
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the recipes first come to Indonesia.
Because there's not big is from
Yeah.
Banda and and then just got back.
そう
Japan, yeah.
Already productive.
Yeah, the connections are already there from a long time ago. Yeah. So yeah, to close to give us conclusion from this kind of small feast moment. What do you think that should we approach every food that we eat every day, right? And yeah, they should. I think every food have history also. Yeah, you can trace it, you can find the books and everything. But yeah, through that simple and daily gestures of eating something, for survival of course. But other than that, we have this cultural context, narrative. Yeah, to give conclusion.
To give conclusion, I think let's try to be more appreciate the food by expanding our curiosity through the recipes, how it's made, something like that, the process of making it, and enjoy food with others. Not really good, eating alone,
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. We have to
Need
have,
company to eat with.
of course, yeah. Like picnic by yourself is very weird.
It's not picnic.
It's not picnic.
Yeah, sometimes maybe need time like that.
Me time.
That,
Healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with peoples and friends, that's the best moments, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Fajar Abadi. Thank you, Arin. Thank you, Kay. We can continue prepare breakfasting for the others. Okay.
Terima kasih. Mau nambah lagi? Oke, mau lagi nambah?
Okay. Where should I go? No, I think just here. Okay. So everyone at the Zoom meeting and everyone here in Selasar Sunaryo already, of course, they go to the food stall over there. So yeah, I think that concludes our second day of declaring distance forum, online forum. This is the second day. We have the first day yesterday. Yeah, and the exhibition and the workshops and everything still happening now until the next 2 months, until 20 and 29th of May. So yeah, I think what we try to say in this short and I think quite modest presentation to everyone that watching us in YouTube and Zoom is this is the place that we grow up, where we meet one another, have friends and everything to build a community, and of course we share the history and the past that happened in this city. So without many discussion, this forum cannot be happen. So I would like to thank everyone that joined the preparation, joined the discussion. Actually, I met with so many friends to prepare this Zoom online, and we talk like many different things, many different approach to access the past, and to rethink what is our connection to that, because the idea of distance and how to declare it come from that conversation also, like just like Fajar Abadi just said before, like we already have it in our body, we always carry it with us, and so what can we do with it? Of course, all of the session also questioning that what can be done with it. So that question will close this online forums. This is the second day, the last day. Yes, but then again, I'd like to also thank KITLV and Framer Frame and Parahyangan Catholic University, and with full support of Selasar Sunaryo Art Space and Studio CA3A. So everyone here in very good. I think this forum is a bit magical because everything just happened coincidentally actually, but as you can see it, everything just, I think many things that can be said about the past and the archive and the history. So this just like tiny parts of it. So with this, I can wait to continue this project with my Atelier KTV project. So maybe after this, we will have event like this. Maybe the second part, maybe the second phase. I don't know. Maybe we can see. But for here in Bandung, with all the support and everything, I also thank broadcast team from Parahyangan Catholic University for all the artworks and everything. The space is not that simple. It very complex actually. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us, people in the Zoom meetings, and every speakers that joined in the last 2 days. Many names, and thank you for sharing your stories with us here. And hopefully in the near future we can have the same discussion. We can continue this discussion because, of course, this is a conversation, not just like one kind of one thing, and then just. I think we should try to do this kind of discussion, of conversation, and exchange more and more, especially between Indonesia and the Netherlands, with our complex past and histories. So with this, I'd like to say thank you and have a great day, and please be safe everywhere, and I will see you in next event. See you and goodbye.